Hey guys, welcome back here. I'm sitting in my truck, so you know what that means. It is tournament day. Just dropped my boat in. I'm here at Falls Lake. You know, if you saw my last video, I did pretty well pre-fishing, but that was 8 days ago. Conditions have changed quite a bit. There's a big tournament going out today, so there'll be some fishing pressure. So hopefully those fish will still be there. If not, we'll figure them out. We'll go catch some fish. We're looking for that big five bass lemon is what we're looking for. So we'll see if we can go do it. So stay tuned and see if I can catch them. Hey, so I wanted to check in before we blast off here in a second. Obviously, it's dark out, so the lighting's not the best, but I mentioned the conditions are different than last week. So we had a lot of rain this week. Temperatures dropped, so the water temperature is about 6 to 7 degrees cooler than last week. The thing is, even though we had all that rain, the lake's actually come down. It's 7 inches lower than when I fished it last Friday and Saturday, and it's actually below normal poolage, but just barely. So there's some positives to keep those fish where they were at and offshore, but the cooler temperatures could push them up. So ultimately we'll have to go out there and graph and try to figure them out and try to catch fish. So let's go do it. So I guess they want to bite topwater if this is a bass. First one's not a keeper, and he is foul hooked, unfortunately. But there's fish here at least, so that's a good sign. He came off. He came off. Every species but keepers today. Ain't that right? Another little white perch here. There we go. Fish on. Oh. It's fighting. Stay down. Stay down. That's a good fish, guys. That's a great fish. I know you can't see. Give me a second here. I'll see you guys in a come back here, fish. And it's fighting. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. Whew! First good one of the day. That's a good. But he choked the crankbait. Let me show you guys. Absolutely smoked this crankbait. All bloody too, so hopefully he'll live. Whew. Outstanding. Whew. I got blood all over the boat now. Hopefully he'll live. I got that G juice in the live well, so we'll find out. But cranking here, I pulled up to the second spot. That first spot I couldn't get him to bite. Pulled up, just caught that big fish right here. There's a bunch of brush down here, about 10 feet of water. He smoked it right at the boat, so hopefully we'll get on a couple more here. Hey guys, so you saw me catch that fish. That's a great fish. This is a spot I caught a little fish at last week in pre-fishing. Obviously the first spot I went to is where I caught all those fish. Couldn't get them to bite this morning, as I said. Again, the bites I had though were a little later in the day, about 2.5 hours from now. So I'll eventually make my way back down here, but came up here and made a bunch of casts. I could see there's fish around, and lost one of my crankbaits. So I picked up the other one here and was able to get that one to choke the chartreuse 5XD. So hopefully we'll get on a few more here. There's more guys schooling right here. Maybe there's a good one in here I can catch real fast. Yep, little guy. Definitely don't think he's gonna keep. We'll measure him real fast. They gotta be 212, so we'll find out. I don't think this little guy's gonna keep. I was wrong. He's just over 12 inches. So keeper number 2. We gotta catch more and upgrade from this. There's a school of little guys there on the Ned rig. Threw it out there and he hit it right away. Let's find out this one's 12 too. Yep, he's 13 inches. 3 keepers, 2 little ones, and a nice good big old girl. There we go. Stay on. Came off as a little guy though. Man, oh man, oh man. What do we have here? What do we have here? A little bass. Please be 14. Please be 14. On the Ned rig out deep. These bass are pretty finicky today, and they're pretty hard to bite. They don't want the jig or the crankbait too much after that initial burst I had. I don't think he's gonna be big enough. No, but he'll call out the other one, the little one. I think that's a crappie. Yep, that's a crappie. We got something on here, guys. We got something here. Seems like a decent fish. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. Oh, I almost lost him. Come here. Come here. Come here. There we go. Got him. Number 4 of the day. Probably a solid 2.5 to 3 pounder right there, not bad. Hang on a second, let me put him in live well and talk. I went back to where I caught those fish this morning, no bites except a crappie. And then I came down along this bank here and there's a fish attractor here, and I look over and there's a bunch of brush, and I tossed my crankbait out there and a bunch of white perch were following it, and then obviously that bass hit right there. So it has been a grind today. It's been a real grind. These fish, they don't seem like they want to bite that well for me, some of the spots. I know they're there. I could see some of them react, but that's just the way it is. So we're just going to keep grinding. We got a few more hours left, and hopefully we'll get on some fish. Hey, so I want to say, don't be afraid to necessarily fish these fish attractors. I mean, everyone knows they're here. They're community holes, there's brush piles and all. But this one has white perch around it. It's got obviously that largemouth. There's bait fish. So, you know, I just came down and checked it out because I was right here close to some of the fish I caught earlier. I usually don't go out of my way to check them, But if there's a place that looks real good, or I've caught fish real near it, I'll obviously go up and check it out just in case. Just lost my crankbait down there. I had to retie. I put on the same Chartreuse 5XD. They seem to bite that one at least. There we go. That's a largemouth. These. At least he's in the boat. But this guy's no bigger than the other one, so he's got to go back. Again, we can have 2 under 14, but they got to be 12 inches, and then everything's got to be over 14. So catching several dinks today. Just got to get these big ones now. Well, guys, I'm gonna have to call last cast here in a second. Have to be back in the boat ramp relatively soon to get weighed in. You know, today did not go as I anticipated. I had anticipated coming out and doing really well and catching my limit. As you can see, you know, you didn't see that fish coming in the boat, or at least coming in the live well. Caught quite a few fish today, but most of them were between 12 to 14 inches. So I have 2 of those in the live well, and I do have those 2 nice fish. The big one, they'll probably weigh it to see how it competes for big fish. I might have a chance there. We'll just have to see. If I had that one last fish and one last kick, you know, about 3 pounds, I feel a lot more confident today, because it's been kind of a grind, but that's just the way it goes fishing sometimes. So with that said, the next time you'll see me will be back at the boat ramp, and I'll let you know how I did in the tournament. I'll let you know how that big fish ended up laying. So I guess I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Hey guys, so obviously I am home now. You can see the neighbor's house behind me. I didn't finish up at or turn the camera back on the boat ramp, because it was a madhouse. It wasn't a single parking spot. It took forever to get the boat out and to park and to get weighed in. It was just crazy, right? Summertime fishing, that other big tournament. There's just a lot of congestion there. You know, my big fish I caught ended up weighing 4.5 pounds, and it didn't compete for big fish because big fish was 6. You know, I weighed in 4 for 8.5 pounds. It was kind of a frustrating day in the sense that, you know, the spots I had, I did really well in pre-fishing. Maybe I didn't adapt to the conditions right. I was catching some fish there, but they were all under 14 inches, so that's why I only weighed in 4. With that said, though, with that 8.5 pounds, I did end up taking 4th place for the club, so it was good to get a little check, you know, get my entry fee back basically, and get some points. But with that said, you know, I had fun out there. I caught fish. Obviously, I didn't get skunked. I did catch a couple good ones, but you know, I just wish I could have performed a little bit better based upon my pre-fishing in the lake. So next lake I think will either be at Jordan or Baden Lake in June, or sorry, July. So it'll be an opportunity to redeem myself, because the fish will be offshore. That's what I like. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. Wish it would have turned out a little bit better, had a few more big catches. But again, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys out there next time. Lunkers one cast away.